Gratifying to win another game, securing another winning season, in addition to postseason play, with a great chance and every opportunity to compete to the very last game of the year to win the Coastal. All those are signs of a program becoming healthier. Bryce Perkins has had 2 games back-to-back now where not only did he throw the ball effectively, but his legs and his dynamic running ability also helped. Tavares Kelly did a really nice job filling in for Joe Reed, who was banged up a little bit last week in the return game. Heskin Smith Jr. Practiced 1 day this week and came in at corner just in time at a position we really couldn't afford another loss, and Chris Moore got hurt. So, man, a backstory of this game is Heskin Smith playing corner, and he was just literally made available this week and got 1 day of practice in. So I think the second half we played much more complementary in terms of time of possession, in terms of yardage, and in terms of controlling the game as well as field position. The first half we gave up a big play defensively and then some yards through the air that made it difficult for us to stop them. Having said all that, we're doing what we need to do to win games, and that's gratifying, and I'm happy for our staff, I'm happy for our players and our fans. And basically everyone associated with UVA football. The program is becoming healthier. And that's 2 Novembers now going late where we had a great chance or have a great chance to win the Coastal, and that's really what I and we all expect internally. I feel really lucky to be the coach and to see these kids grow and mature and have success, and it's very gratifying. And so, yeah, I'll take questions.
I'll start with Jeff.
You mentioned Kelly. Kemp also made some big plays. Have you kind of been you've seen flashes from those guys. Have you been waiting for the 2 of them to kind of contribute at this level?
You know, it really hasn't been that we're waiting. Man, practice consistency and day-to-day work ethic is so important, and they both have been there for a long time. Terrell Jana has just been so effective, and Hassis has been so effective, and Joe Reed has been so effective. As we've been going, we've just been pushing to keep them on the field longer, but we knew that Tavares and Billy are capable when given an opportunity. Billy had a great week of practice this week and made just a ton of catches and yards after and fighting and scrapping, getting extra yards, and he played exactly like that. So I was happy for both of them to have been laboring kind of in the shadows. And then, man, yeah, when you play week 11, it's nice to have players that are ready when you need them, and they both did a really nice job today.
You mentioned that Heskin Smith became available. What do you mean by that?
So he's been hurt.
Okay.
So he had surgery. He's been out, I think, 6 weeks. And so he had 1 day to go out and be tested by the trainers. The next day he practiced, and now he played. And played almost, well, whatever play number Chris Moore got hurt, he played the rest of the game at the corner spot with 1 day of practice. But that explains where our secondary depth currently is.
Coach, you guys have a bye week coming up, which is a beautiful thing given how banged up you are on defense. It seems like over the course of the year, you've mentioned before the play of Eli Hand back in the middle. How important has that been for your defensive line, and especially now with you guys struggling so much with the secondary injuries?
If you remember a year ago, it was just the opposite. Our secondary and back end was controlling everything, and we had 4 total D linemen for our bowl game. That's 4 to dress. It now is the next year, and it's exactly the opposite, and Eli is just the consistency and the standard setting he shows every day in practice is so influential and needed. And when the rest of the front 7 starts executing and plays as consistent as he is, which they'll need to down the stretch here, that will be necessary, and that's what he provides. And all they have to do is look at film. I mean, he's where he's supposed to be every single play, and I'm grateful for his leadership. And it's by example, it's not by word, but it's still powerful.
At the end of the first half, Tavares has the 47-yard return or whatever to midfield, and Bryce gets the big gain, and you end up getting the touchdown. Do you feel that was really significant to go up at halftime instead of down after that touchdown?
Yeah, because I questioned my decision to go for it on 4th because we didn't get it. And I thought it was just outside of field goal range. I didn't feel like punting at that point, and a score would have been really helpful. And all that really happened is they scored and we scored, and it was like it was a wash. So, yeah, it was a huge play, and I kind of felt like Bryce bailed me out because I was questioning my call after it didn't work, which I do a lot.
Jana, 22 catches in the last 2 games. Just talk about how he's added to your offense.
What he's added is the consistency that allows time of possession to go in our favor. I think it was, 32 to 25 minutes. And when you can throw and catch out there over and over and over again to a trusted source, and then to have 3 trusted sources. Hassis was open easily for 3 touchdowns today. Bryce just didn't find him. But Jana is he's going to catch everything, as Hassis will. And with Joe being a little bit beat up today, it was necessary for not only he to step up, but as we already talked about, Billy and Tavares also.
Jana has 28 catches in his last 3 games. His first 6 games this season, he had 25. Okay?
Am I correct? No turnovers in the last 2 games now?
Wow. That sounds good. I hope it's true. I vote for that if it's. I think that's right. So so every possession matters to our team, and we have designs in place to compensate for turnovers if they happen, but we count possessions, and we have to have possessions and extra possessions to get the yield and points and for our style of play to work. And so each day practice has started with an increased focus on a ball security circuit offensively, because it's just become clear that's part of our DNA this year that's really impactful. And so I can't say that it's just the last 2 weeks, but I think it's been a season culmination and discovery from our staff, just saying how important that is, and we've been grinding and drilling that into our players, and that it's happened the last 2 in critical ACC Coastal games. I think that's I'm thankful for that.
Kick returns. Kelly's been back there a lot lately, not Joe Reed. Is that to use the new buzzword, load management decision, especially with Reed drawing a lot of offensive coverage and now freeing things up for Jana?
Reed got hurt last week versus North Carolina and was not full speed for this game, and so we had to manage his load. And so we had another good player that's a capable returner, and that allowed us to shift some of it. I wasn't sure Joe would play this week, but he did a really nice job doing what he could, but he's not 100%, so the bye comes at a good time for him.
Dave?
With the offense, just these last couple of weeks, how much more effective? Is it guys understanding their roles, the identity, or is it just really a matter of Bryce is more healthy, feeling better?
It's more than that. It's offensive line improvement, and to say that's not the critical point. It is. So that's allowed Bryce to run more effectively, to have more protection, to throw more effectively. Our offensive front has trended upward for about the last 6 weeks. It's been incremental. It's been slow. It's been sometimes less visible to the outside world, but I've seen it. And that's the biggest difference, which then has allowed Bryce to do and be who he really is, as he also has become healthier. But I think that's secondary to the other part. That's my take, with consistent receiver play just being the standard.
Coach, I didn't know if you had an update on Chris.
I don't. Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff, and then Bennett.
Will there be more of an emphasis on this bye week on just getting guys healthy than there was the first one, which came so early in the season?
Yeah, certainly. So each bye week is different based on the current standing of our team, and the number one goal for this week is recovery and healing. And that doesn't mean we're going to the spa, but we need to recover, and we need to get as healthy as possible. And that's goal number one.
How important was Blunt's interception then turning that into 7 points?
Yeah, so that's an example of stealing a possession. So we not only stole a possession, we created field position, which led to a score, which was the difference in the game.
I'm sure players might not want to be the next guy put into the secondary, but do you have offensive players that you're considering moving over to secondary roles just in case?
Every option's on the table right now. Yeah, we possibly could have two-way players.
Anything else?
All right,
Okay,
thanks.
thank you.